It's a government that wants to reduce and diminish the role and influence of the federal government across Canada. And if there's one instinct in the Liberal Party, it is that if you weaken the federal government of Canada in a permanent manner, you weaken the country. The country, thank God, is bigger than its government. It's richer, more diverse, more wonderful, more immense, more massive than its government. But Liberals believe you can't have a strong Canada without a coherent, smart, centrist government that works every day to make our country more united and more strong. If there's a central part of our creed going back to Laurier, it's the idea that the federal government of Canada plays a vital role in holding our country together. This is what Laurier stood for when he brought the Western provinces in, when he built the railway, when he welcomed people from sheepskin coats into Canada. This is what Pearson stood for when he reached out and created Medicare and the Canada Pension Plan, the national flag. This is what Pierre Trudeau stood for when he created the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. This is not a history lesson for us. This is not something that happened somewhere else. This is something we did. This is something we feel deep personal pride in. The achievements, the historical achievements of our party. And it all was based on a very simple idea, that we are the national institution, the Liberal Party of Canada, that most truly embodies that instinct for unity in the country. That we want to be more than the sum of our parts, not less than the sum of our parts. That rural and urban, north and south, east and west, Atlantic Canada, Pacific Canada, Arctic Canada, Southern Canada, every part of the country, whether we have a seat there or not, is part of a great common experiment that needs the inspiration of great national leadership, which only this party can provide. Nous vivons avec un gouvernement qui ne croit pas dans la fonction d'un bon gouvernement du Canada, ça veut dire d'unifier les gens. C'est un gouvernement qui essaie de diviser les zones métropolitaines, les zones urbaines et les zones ruraux du Canada, avec cette histoire du registre des armes à feu. C'est un gouvernement qui croit que c'est acceptable de faire marche arrière sur la liberté des femmes, durement acquis depuis 25 ans. This is a party that never, we are faced with a government that understands that it's stuck at 37%. A government that knows it actually can't command a majority of this country. And therefore has the following strategy to rule. Suppress the vote. Drive Canadians away from politics, provided you get your base out. I see this everywhere. We had the last election in 2008, 1 in 5 Canadians age 18 bothered to show up and vote. Voting participation rates in the last election were below 60%. Whose interest does that serve? A party that can't get north of 37. We've got to understand this. I say this to you because we have got to get the vote up. We've got to get Canadians out there. We've got to get them participating. High school that'll let me show up? Why is Justin Trudeau going to every high school? Why is Martha Hall Findlay showing up everywhere she can? to get the vote up, to get people out, to get people participating, to get people off their couches and vote. We are faced with a government whose strategy is to suppress the vote and divide Canadians against each other, to pick wedge issues and split and divide Canadians. People say to me as a joke, you know, Stephen Harper doesn't want to abolish the long gun registry. He wants to keep it in being in perpetuity to torment the Liberal Party of Canada, the NDP. That's his vision of leadership. And I'm saying to you, we are not going to play that game. We are going to defend the registry. Because every police chief you talk to says we must have it as a matter of public safety. And then we're going to do something else, which is what the Liberal Party is good at. We're going to reach out to rural Canada and say, we're listening. We hear you. We know there have to be changes and we will make them with you. I mention that example because it's so crucial to the heart of what we are as a party. We don't split, we don't divide, we don't seek conflict. We reach out and try and bring the people into us instead of pushing them away. That's the instinct, that's the genius of this party since Laurier, and that's what we must be true to. On controversial, difficult issues like abortion, let me be clear with you. We have said we will stand with a woman's right to choose, but I will not repel. To our international standing as a great country. I had the Secretary General of the United Nations in my office today at 2 o'clock this afternoon. This is a Korean diplomat who has an idea of Canada. An idea of Canada in which we take part in peacekeeping, in which we support maternal health around the world in terms of the international consensus on that subject. A country which takes leadership on climate change. He was practically begging Canada to lead. And he won't get that leadership from Stephen Harper, but he will get it from us. Il ne faut jamais oublier l'instinct que nous avons pour l'unité nationale. On ne veut pas diviser les Canadiens, on veut les rallier ensemble. On veut leur donner un projet national qui peut nous rassembler dans un effort collectif. Demain soir, je serai à Montréal, ce grand capital de notre pays, ce grand capital de culture, de vie et de gastronomie, ce grand capital de hockey aussi. Et ce que je vais dire aux Québécois, c'est que j'ai besoin de vous, j'ai besoin de votre passion, j'ai besoin de votre amour pour le pays. Et je veux créer un Canada où c'est possible de dire « je suis Québécois et je suis Canadien », aucune contradiction. Fierté québécoise, fierté canadienne, aucune contradiction. Venez avec nous faire un grand pays ensemble. C'est ça le message essentiel du Parti libéral du Canada.